welcome you and you and me. Today we celebrate St. Patrick Day. And all of you and me staff say to you, Happy St. Patrick Day. And we will celebrating together with a great guest. All of you know him. He is Samy Israeli, Vice President of Institutional Advisement and host of Parkland Report. Welcome, Samy.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Good to be here.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
And happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you very much, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Everybody is Irish on this day, right?
Yeah, thanks. Do you think people know St. Patrick? We will go to see this report, and we will come back to know yours. Okay?
I think people are pretty familiar with them here in this country, especially, and around the world, but probably don't know as much about exactly what he signifies. They understand that he's connected with Ireland, and that St. Patrick's Day is a big celebration around the world for Irish people and everybody else.
Okay. We will go this break to see a report from the student, what students know about St. Patrick, and we will come back.
Very good.
It is the time of year when we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. But do you know who St. Patrick is and why we celebrate him? And how do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
I do not know who St. Patrick is.
No. I have no idea who St. Patrick is.
I don't know.
I mean, I've heard of him, but
I know you're supposed to wear green. And they like corned beef. That's all.
I've heard of leprechauns.
Do I know him? I don't know why we celebrate it.
No, I don't know St. Patrick.
I don't know who St. Patrick is. Honest to God, I have no idea.
No, I don't. I don't really know too much about it. All I know is that it's a day where like a bunch of kids get together and like they drink a lot and like just have a good time on campus and stuff.
I have no idea who St. Patrick is.
Honestly, I really don't know.
Oh, probably just the usual, sitting around doing nothing.
Drink a lot of beer.
Yeah, they drink a lot, and then they like have a tradition where they like go somewhere and like eat the food or something like that.
See, you know something.
On party?
Go out and party with my friends.
How would I celebrate it? I probably will hang out with friends and like take a couple of drinks at the bar or something. That's all.
I have no idea why I celebrate St. Patrick's Day in this time. I usually wear green to school or green to work and pinch everyone who's not wearing green. Because it's just the thing to do.
So as you can see, many Parkland students do not know who St. Patrick really is and why we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. When we come back, our guest Samy Israeli will tell us more about St. Patrick's Day.
Welcome back. Seamus, I'd like to start with you. Who is St. Patrick?
Okay, so St. Patrick was a Welsh or British Christian a bishop who was sent to Ireland by the Pope in the year 432, so in the 5th century. And the idea was that he was going to go to bring and establish Christian churches in Ireland. The interesting story about Patrick is that his first visit to Ireland was when he was captured as a slave and brought to Ireland and forced to work on a mountain looking after pigs, and escaped and went back to Britain. And while he was back in Britain, had dreams from the Irish people calling him to come back to Ireland. And so when he went back to Ireland in 432 as a bishop, he was incredibly popular and well known and established churches all over the country.
Okay, but why do we celebrate this day for St. Patrick?
Sure. Well, St. Patrick is what's called the patron saint of Ireland. So he's the national representative of Ireland. And on March 17th is his feast day, St. Patrick's Day is the day that he died. And those saints' days in the Christian calendar are exactly how we distinguish one from the other. And so in Ireland, it always became a very big celebration of our culture and heritage, and was always a very important day.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but how Irish celebrating? It's as American, or it's you have a different celebration in Ireland?
Right. When I was a small boy, everybody would go to church on St. Patrick's Day. We would have no school; everything would be closed, and we would go to church. Mm-hmm. And generally, that was all that we did. After church in the morning, our local silver band, brass band, would march around the town, and they would play traditional Irish songs, and people would march around the town behind them. And generally then my mother would make a sort of traditional Irish meal, which was corned beef and cabbage in this country, but really ham and potatoes and cabbage. Uh-huh. And it was pretty quiet. In this country, there were always big celebrations and parties, and everybody would have a lot of fun. A lot of Irish people, when I was small, would come to the United States to take part in the parades. And there would be a big parade in Dublin for St. Patrick's Day. And all the Americans would come to Dublin for St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. But now in Ireland, it's very like here. It's a big celebration. A lot of people will go to have parties in their houses or go out to parties. Everybody now dresses up in green, just like in America.
Yes, that is my next question. Yeah. Why is the green color in St. Patrick's Day? What is the relationship between green color and St. Patrick's Day?
Okay, well, green is the dominant color in Ireland. Everything is very green. There are at least 40 shades of green if you go through the country. And green is also symbolizes the color of Ireland. It's part of its flag, which is green, white, and orange. The shamrock, which you have on your thing, is connected as it's a plant that's unique to Ireland. It only grows there, and it's the plant that St. Patrick used to convert the Irish people to Christianity, because to explain the concept of the Trinity, 3 persons in one God, 1 stem and 3 individual pieces. But the other more interesting part about St. Patrick's Day and the colour green was that for a long time in Ireland, because we were controlled by another country, the colour green was prohibited from being worn. And so wearing green was a way to show your independence. Now, as a child, my mother would send me on St. Patrick's Day up the fields to get shamrock, and we would just grab bunches of it and bring it back, and then you would take some and tie it, and then you would pin it onto your lapel. So you literally wore shamrock, the actual plant, and that's what most people still will wear on their clothes.
Yeah, it's good meaning, and really, it's new information for me. Also, do you think any other countries celebrate St. Patrick's Day, or it's Irish people and the United States only?
Well, it's interesting. When I first came to the United States, I was so surprised because so many people were celebrating St. Patrick's Day. And part of the reason for that is that although the population of Ireland is about 4 million people, there are about 40 million people across the world who claim to have Irish heritage. And that's because so many people over the course of the latter part of the 19th century and the 20th century left Ireland and went to England and America and Australia and all over the world. And when they went there, a way for them to remember their home country was to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And so a lot of people were, by extension, then connected. And I think also it became for people around the world a kind of a spring holiday because it's in the middle of spring, a kind of a way to celebrate the Irish culture, which the Irish tend to be pretty happy people. We like to sing, we like to dance, and usually if you go to an Irish party, you'll probably have a pretty good time.
Sure, I will go. Yeah, sure, I will go.